I'm just gonna jump right in here. I initially recorded this and had an issue with space here, so I didn't get too far. But I'm gonna aim and pick up where I left off here. So let's just take a look here. So what we're doing here is kind of examining some of the karmic opposition related to the film Gone Girl, but also using our model of the tool lyrics that are associated with the traditional tarot here. So, but again, it's not tarot in terms of like any kind of spirit or something like that. It's really just your higher self, just Holy Spirit, that kind of thing. Just discernment. It's all part of this quest to be wise as serpents, harmless as doves here, and to understand this, the schemes of the enemies, not sort of leaning on our own understanding. So we want to be led by the Spirit, but as chosen ones, the sons of God, we're in Romans 8 fashion, really trying to see kind of the matrix that we've been broken out of, and help others break free, and not jump right into another matrix, because that definitely seems to be the options and a lot of the deception that's happening right now. Thessalonians talks about, or the book of Thessalonians, just being sent strong delusion because of not loving truth, right? So, and that's part of us awakening from illusions and using our illusions, but so and I'm not necessarily advocating to watch this movie. I think you'll be able to get enough from context here. But the first song that came up was Reflection, Crucifying the Ego Before It's Too Late, right? Praying the light lifts before you pine away, and really looking to leave behind the place of negative behind us, and called it, in order to find that we are all of one mind, which is this kind of Carl Jungian subconscious element here. But also seeing who you can help, who you can free, and that kind of thing. But being aware of this sort of karmic trap here, Amy Dunne's character that is. The first card was the Nine of Swords reverse here, and she's really manipulating perceptions, creating an identity to control others, and so also being aware of our own constructed false personas that we've been offered or had to conform to, and where there's authenticity, or we're conforming to the image of Christ, we're dealing with our own shadows, that kind of thing. But the egoic structures that keep you in a toxic dynamic, right? Because so many things they're elements of control and frustration. And part of the control is the mental torment and the guilt and the blame and the shame. And so just learning how to, kind of like the way that Christ did, he was able to continually flip the manipulation on his head, turn these kind of things, assert his authority where needed, but where a simple phrase or just not a lack of willingness to engage, participate, or to bring consequences into that, but also to see where you could bring peace to a situation, to intercede for the kingdom to break forth, and then help others, because we're all working for the greatest good of all. We're loving our enemies, we're praying for those who persecute us, without letting them drain us, or giving them energy by which then they would entrap others. So it's that Nine of Swords reverse, that mental torment, learning to not fear, to not let fear give the enemy a foothold, but realizing that we're co-creating with Spirit, and that's why we've attracted the attention that we have. And so, wise as serpents, knowing the plans, harmless as dove, though. So, draining patience, draining vitality, that's that draining the energy harvest, and not giving our energy to these things that are just the egoic thing of being right, or being the one who, brought truth to do a deception, or engaging them with that kind of thing. Giving blood, keeping the faith, breaking out of that, breaking out of the mind games, and then trying to see where we can actually sow true relationship and friendship, and where this is an Amy situation where beyond her manipulation is another manipulation. So Ecclesiastes 7:26 talks about the karmic snare and net, someone's hands being chained or something. So staring down the hole again, hand upon the back again, that's where we want to avoid that place. That's the depth of her deception, and where Nick starts to feel like his survival is kind of knit to playing along with the illusion. This is where it's like recognizing God is not the author of confusion, but Lucifer is, and finding the way out. So that's what we're looking for here. And the next one we had there, speaking of finding the way out, was the high priestess here. So, and that's seeing beyond the veil, letting your intuition guide you through this process. What's the mind game? What's the lessons here that you were meant to learn? But then also, standing on scripture and reality and that truth that your intuition is bringing you through to get to the other side there. So, the next part of this was the Five of Swords in reverse here, and I really think that's his lingering conflict. Initially he's trapped but aware, but as intuition breaks you free, this starts an awakening, and you're seeing beyond the veil and learning where to walk away from the battles instead of feeding them, and having that divine wisdom and overpowering there. Because the next thing is, it's the latterist thing. This is really, classic. Overthinking, overanalyzing separates the body from your mind, and it keeps you trapped in the same cycle, the finger trap, or assuming it's just an intellect alone is going to get you out of it. When it's you're playing it into a hand, and the deck is kind of stacked. But the power of your own authority, if you've done we have in the book there, or the other videos, the divine decrees, take your power back, to take back your energy, which is disruptive in its place, but it's part of awakening out the matrix and not giving your energy back to those things, and forming the true partnerships that are going to be more fruitful. But you gotta get out, get out of the matrix first. But learning to trust your inner wisdom, and it's not just random. It's not, it's being led by the Spirit. It's not necessarily impulsivity or just being led into anything or just accepting the first thing that comes along that seems to be the right thing, but it's just yet another trap there. It's the grudge, right? Calculating what you will or will not tolerate. And so, that's, initially he's forced to tolerate Amy's control. They kind of still being bound in fear and resentment and shame. But there's this urging of transcendence to see beyond the illusions, or use them. Use your illusion one or two. But it's that reclaiming inner power there, and that goes to renewing the mind. And a lot of times it's mantras, and it's mantras that you can believe, not just pie in the sky mantras, but as much as you have the faith for. You start to ascend. You start to program the matrix with your own thoughts, and that's what the whole world is trying to keep you from doing, is realizing that to walk in all that. You're still it's having the skills, it's having the intuition, it's having the knowledge to do all these things, but realizing that there's what has been set up to deliberately keep you from actually actualizing what you've and reaping the harvest that you've sown. So, and there's a search for genuine connection there too, for sure. But staying away from this false high priestess kind of thing. So we've got next. We had a couple notes real quick here. I think I'm going to take the Queen of Pentacles and Lovers in reverse as combined rather than like a sequence here, because I just to explore more of this, because for some, Amy is the next obstacle to overcome. For some, it's you break out of one matrix, and then what seems to be somebody else who is also enlightened is yet she's another Agent Smith, right? It's another NPC designed to keep you entrapped, right? It's not main character. It's not an empress, right? And so, and again, they can, a lot of times they are offering, it's that, it's more of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which is, the matrix kind of thing. It's not the tree of life. It's not, that empress or emperor energy here. And I'm speaking, it's just like the traditional, Nick Amy construct, but you can flip the genders as it applies to your situation. But there's definitely, pursuer energies and an entrapping energy here with these. And again, it is that cycle of like the victim, the hero, and the persecutor, and that, and the shifting of that, where she's the victim and then she's the misery, Kathy Bates or whatever. So the illusion of the perfect wife, but beneath it, the illusion of the cool girl, all these things. But again, is it something that sees you as an energetic resource? Is it something that sees you as, it's not working for your greater good, but it sees you something to be trapped and extracted from, the Black Widow, as it were. So, disharmony, false love, manipulation, right? And again, the Jezebelic concept does want to say that the only predators are men, and that kind of thing, or to set up anybody into that role. And the wisdom here is that, to see that gender is not necessarily predictive of any of, unfortunately, either side. Everybody has the potential to be awful. Everybody has the potential to be entrapping and masterminds. Sociopaths aren't just men, unfortunately, contrary to popular belief. But so, and this Queen of Pentacles is like a provider, it's a caretaker. It's but when paired with Lover's Reverse is control and entrapment. So this karmic contract is, and it's a cycle too, because it's a lot of time it's what was done through them, it's what they grew up in, and that threat of control that they never escaped from, they've been promoted from inmate to security guard, and so that's doing to others what has been done to me, and to a Maynard James fashion there. So, which again, that's a song for shadow work, right? For those who have been in the abusive situations there. I mean, he said as much. But are you being assigned a role that strips you of agency? Are you trading a walk-on part on the wall for a lead role in the cage, kind of thing? Again, both options are incorrect in a lot of these situations. Wizard and glass. So, transactional versus sacred relationships, I think, there's an element of there's equal partnership in that, but without intuition, we're separating the body from the mind for sure. So, and the Queen of Pentacles too, there's a financial leverage too. That is so true, I think, for the matrix system. That is understanding that the true currency is a high vibration, which is in the book of Daniel. Daniel comes out of captivity, and he comes out of his matrix, and did he retain his divinity, or which is to say, his relationship with the Holy Spirit, with the Lord through Egypt. And some of us did more than others, or we did for seasons. Sometimes it's kind of a pass-fail thing. You just strengthen what's remaining, come out of that. But yes, the gaslighting, you kind of have to undo the trauma healing that you're one is working through. But still, trusting not in chariots, right? But on the Lord alone, I think, because knowledge is the ultimate power. Relationship with spirit is the ultimate power. The high vibration of connectivity is a true currency. We talk about the mark of the beast and stuff like that. But then what did that mean to Elijah? What did that mean to Moses? People who could be fed by raisins or call down manna from heaven. Those who could just control the matrix because of the relationship with that, which is again part through just knowing Him, knowing Christ and Him crucified, and that beholding Him and being convicted by Spirit, and the power of Scriptures that you have to stand on. Understanding that every Jezebel, male or female, is fully knowing your power and hoping to get you to trade it for a bowl of soup, essentially. And that's that loving detachment. That is putting yourself first, and then and everybody respects that, false and true. You know, so yeah, Lover's reverse is giving gaslighting too there a little bit. You know, as he's becoming trapped, you know, by lies. By trusting, you know, trust but verify is massive in this hour here. For being led by the Spirit. You know, taking learning patterns, but learning your triggers, learning your biases, learning when you're seeing through something, and when you're not. 9 of Cups reversed, 3 of Pentacles reversed. So I'll write those down real quick. Bump them into the algorithm for the tool correlation. Yeah, try push it. Isn't that play here? Choke until you swallow. And that's the suffocating control within the relationship too. You know, being forced into submission. You know, love the battlefield versus love the sanctuary. You know, and then discerning, you know, the nurturing present, those who are actually on your team and who are pretending to be, only to fake you out again. You know, but you know, when you're financially coerced or emotionally cornered or all those things, that's when the mask comes off typically. Choosing comfort over authenticity, that leads to a spiritual imprisonment. That's what these card combos are saying here. Yeah, just to kind of round it out there. And this is, I mean, I'm still putting this together, but this is in Revelation 18:4, coming out of her, so you don't share in her sins or receive her plagues, is you know, I published that book on purity and related to like exiting Babylon and all that, and it's, yeah, walking by the Spirit, and it's a challenge, you know. You stumble, you pick yourself back up, and you keep going. You don't get caught in the guilt or trap, the shame trap, none of that. Yeah, but anytime there's a relationship that's forcing you into a role instead of authenticity, you know, you're taking a step back on that. So this is on Anima here with the 9 of Cups in reverse, right? Some say the end is near. Karmic disillusionment. Babylon disillusionment. Jezebel disillusionment. And taking her off the pedestal, taking him off the pedestal, whatever it looks like for you, and putting yourself back on that pedestal. And I'm putting the Lord on ultimately, right? But you know, we are co-creating. You know, it's a partnership. The bride of Christ and the bridegroom. But we're mourning for him. We're continually blessed are the poor in spirit. We're always seeing. You're never satisfied because every time you climb over a mountain, there's another mountain. You know, but you're with them on the mountains and you're climbing because you're ascending. And it's their trials, but you know, you're rejoicing in them because of what they're producing. And this is where he's found, and that's where the safe place is, with your eyes on him. You're following him, you know, no matter what else is happening. Yeah, but this is getting what you wish for and realizing it's not what. Yeah, if it's not him, if he's not there, it isn't what you want. And where else can I go? He alone has the words of life. So even when like Amy wins, you know, yeah, her foundation is a prison. You know, it's not a partnership. So it's, yeah, 3 of Pentacles in reverse is that lack of partnership, and that it's true. You know, we can gain the whole world but lose our soul. The only person who wins is Lucifer, and even him, he gets thrown in the lake of fire. So that's not, you know, you just don't want to go there with him. So what could he offer in this little bit of time before the Lord comes back, or before the end of our own days? And some say the end is near, and we will see. You know, Armageddon soon. Certainly hope we will, because it means that would mean the Christ is returning. We actually, you know, it's only bad news for those who are on the devil's side. The greatest hour of glory. Imagine if Moses was like, I'm afraid to, you know, to leave Egypt. I'm afraid to go to the promised land. It sounds, you know, the book of Exodus sounds scary, but that's how we treat the book of Revelation, not understanding that we're the one calling down the seals and trumpets and bowls, and often being spared by them. You know, it's like one person taken by if you look at the Greek, it's taken by the destruction, And left behind is spared. You want to be left behind. It's not, yeah. People teach the rapture in a way that'll keep people coming on Sundays, of course, but not the way the Greek says. And nihilistic fulfillment is the phrase here for this, I think, you know. And again, it's days of Noah, right? Why can't we not be so, you know, they were drinking and eating, Matthew 25. You know, societal decay of the album and lyrically as well, too. You know, the illusion of success, but the foundation's crumbling. It's, yeah, illusion of success when it's still built on that American deception, American delusion. And the sobriety, you know, is nihilistic temporary fulfillment. Drunkenness is that. Not the double negative throws me all every time. But why can't we not be sober? You know, but again, it's a temporary high that's results in addiction, and so you get intoxicated by the concept of this wish fulfillment. But there's a Bible verse just like, unless the Lord builds the verse, you know, unless the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain that build it. And so, vicariously I live while the whole world dies is the book of Revelation in a sense. It's those who've taken the mark of the beast and aligned, and their oath is this man of, you know, Christ being fully God, fully man. The Antichrist can be fully demon, you know, or, you know, partially demon, partially man, however it works. Revelation 12, but that's that's why Satan's raging. It's because the time is but short. So, yeah, when there's no real connection, like we have here, it's just power dynamics. It's egoic fulfillment, but it's not soul connection. It's you know, the Lord isn't in it. It isn't that expression of Christ that we were created for. So it'll never truly be fulfilling. But it's, you labor with something so long, you finally get it, you know. But it's, you know, with the Lord, everything is eternal. Every moment will last forever, in a sense, because He's going to write it in His book. It's going to be written on our heart. Be careful what you wish for, I guess. You know, Ecclesiastes 5:10. Whoever loves money and never has enough. For loves wealth is never satisfied. You know, because it's all vanity, it's all meaninglessness. You know, Ecclesiastes is great for that. Let's see how we're doing on time here. Do a couple more. We have the 5 of Cups. Oh, and we have the Empress. I might end on the Empress. All right, our correlation for those is I kind of feel like it's like, you know, this is almost the 2 trees, right? In a sense, it's like you can be stuck in your past wounds, unable to see the full picture here. Refusing to acknowledge your vulnerability and the shadow work that allows you to get there so you can do the work. Which is, and I say that like it's a punishment, but it's like a lot of times it's childhood wounding that just, you know, we were never allowed to, I mean, and I'm not saying myself, but a lot of people, it's, you know, that if you said you're sorry, that sorry was used against you, you know, admission of anything was used to control you in these systems. And so as we're reparenting, we're welcoming vulnerability because we're the parent now, parenting ourselves, the Lord is, and He's turning our water to wine, you know, He's turning all of these vulnerabilities, places of wounding, that are a place of control, and He's healing those. He's making all things beautiful just in time. We don't have to integrate it. If we can heal it, we can reparent it with the love of the Father, and in that, yeah, we can escape controls over those things. People define you by them, but you're not defined by the opinion of them. You know, the words of people. You and the Lord define who you are. and it's a king or a queen. So, yeah. Forcing some sort of order on everybody else to mask your own suffering, prevent your own vulnerability, the manipulation, the control, the black magic, all of that is a shield to keep from facing your own emotions a lot of times. It's giving out right into monkey killing monkey over pieces of the ground. Make a club and beat their brother down. It's instead of waging war, on that, which entraps them, I think. But again, it's learning to find that safe place or to heal, safe place for the vulnerability. So yeah, when love is a battlefield of asserting dominance and fighting over power dynamic and conforming someone else to your will or to your preconception of them or who you want, that kind of thing. It's tricky because you want everybody. Again, you want that's can be negative when it's done in the flesh and with control. When it's something in intercession, when you're fighting for someone's highest good, for them to heal the parts of themselves that they need to heal on their own timing, without any force or control, and accepting them who they fully are, to the degree that you can, while still setting boundaries, so where their unhealedness is infringing on you. But these are partnerships, these are contracts, so it's still being in that place of support to the degree, until there's a violation or something that's past the point of no return. I think it's, we are not alone. It's all the pain is an illusion. Yeah, I think it's the Five of Cups is clinging to the illusion. It's clinging to the illusion as it collapses. But there's a need to surrender to the flow, to the intuition, to the, it's releasing the need to control, but it's, it's connecting with eternity. All this body makes me feel eternal. I think that's what it is. It's, it's just choosing yourself first. It's choosing to escape the matrix when you realize that that's dead end what it is, and that's what leads to the Empress reality there. I'm going to make a modification here. Okay, so focusing more on let's transition to Empress here from the Five of Cups. It's this is the way out. This is how to get back to Kansas. And it's a shift towards healing and self-nurturing, and that transformation, growth, emotional rebirth, and this higher, more empowered state of being, right? It's saying, it's the patient endurance, as Paul would say. If there were no rewards to reap, I certainly would have walked away. If there wasn't a loving embrace to see me through this tedious path I've chosen here. For the chosen ones, for the, those who, are escaping there, it is able, it's choosing to stay in labor to ascend, to crucify the ego. It's choosing to labor in that place. This is where you are fighting for the relationship with the other person that is a divine, masculine or feminine, and seeing that there's still life to be nurtured. There might be a pruning, as you're abiding in the vine, but there's authentic creation, there's self-love, and then two people have done the work, or whether that's a new person or two people that align to grow together. Eternal rewards, because not everybody gets the same reward in heaven, it starts, but at a certain point. But there's a loving embrace that's to see you through, and that could just be through the Lord here, that kind of thing. But definitely a message of just like power and control cannot replace true emotional connection, and intercession is a place to fight for these relationships, outside of the matrix. Is speaking life, meditating and attracting, and then fighting for someone else's highest good in the place of intercession, and just speaking life over them and blessing the power that you really have as an intercessor, and realizing what's been given to you and the promises of God that you can, each one of these promises you can say, Lord, you said this, you said, Lord, it says in your word, no weapon formed against me is going to prosper. And this one feels like it's prosper, but you said it, and so I ask you to do your will. And then you free him up to do what he longs to do when you say that, which is break in. He loves to be held accountable to his word. And then you even have the power to say, I decree this will not prosper. You can stand on the word in the scripture. And I'm telling you, what the devil wants to do is to make his way look cool, and make him look like God, and make Christianity look dumb or whatever. And that's the ultimate deception, because your biggest source of power is on these scriptures that make you a king in the earth, and in a way that's eternal and lasting for billions of years, and it's only the beginning, versus the other kind of billions of years in the lake of fire, which Satan is not in yet. But at the end of the book of Revelation, he goes there, and heaven comes to the earth, and we reign with Christ. But those of you who have said yes and trust in his work on the cross as payment for your sin here, so definitely want the ability to surrender to the flow and embrace the full experience of existence, but still mourn what's lost. Five of Cups energy. Transform that sorrow into growth. Alchemize your pain into lessons and to memories, but also breaking free of the performance-based mentality, and just seeing your own self-worth through the eyes of Christ. Nothing. Your brain is a computer, and all the negative code that your handlers of MK Ultra people and all those who were just kind of assigned to keep you down or whatever, to see yourself as small, rewriting that code, not in an egoic way, in a sense, because false humility is putting yourself as small when if God says you're a king, you're a king. God says you're a queen, you're a queen. And that doesn't mean in a way that you're just like, because a true king goes low and it stays humble. It chooses the lowest seat and is promoted. A true king is not. He doesn't have to prove he's king, because then that's just petty. But you realizing that everybody has an element of prophetic authority, and you can speak life or death, and it's not. I'm not going to do a whole teaching on that, but it's choosing, 46 and 2, choosing to live, choosing to grow, to learn, to love, to cry, it's do whatever it takes. That's the high priestess energy of just like being wise as serpents, to know, but it's authentic, authentically, whatever it takes to get the other side of the mountain. And so it's all emotions serve a purpose. It's not masking or minimizing yourself, but it's being authentic to where it serves you, and where you can. And sometimes you don't have control over something, you don't, but you work and you labor to get back where you should be. So you don't want to be trapped in an illusion, and you don't want to live in paranoia or fear of knowing the difference here. So it can feel like a tedious path, but again, it's the loving embrace that is seeing you through and making it all worth it on this side and the next. So to be continued, more on the other side. Like and subscribe.